The Minnesota Vikings got a great win down in Nashville, and now they get to travel to their division rival in Chicago to take on Caleb Williams and the Bears. My name is Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we're going to break down this Week 12 NFC North matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and Chicago Bears. But before we get into that, Ryan and I, we are super excited that we get to go out and possibly achieve this goal of 6,000 subscribers by the end of the calendar year. Thanks to everybody that has subscribed to the Tracy Take during the season to make this potential goal even possible. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, leave a like and a comment. Let us know who you think will win this game, and let's see if we can get to 6,000 by the end of the year. Ryan, I want to throw it over to you. NFC North matchup here with a lot on the line. Chicago is definitely dealing with a rookie quarterback who I think is taking good strides forward. I thought Caleb Williams played well in this game. I think probably one of his better games overall, I would say, especially too against a formidable opponent. I mean, like 23 for 31, 231 yards. We typically are not seeing those kinds of passing numbers from Caleb Williams. Actually, just in general, we're not really seeing those kind of passing numbers at all. He said that a couple times, but more often than not, it's been like the 150-yard passing game. So I would say a good performance overall, and especially towards the end of the game to put his team in a position to kick the game-winning field goal. Unfortunately, he got blocked, but still taking those types of strides forward, because that's the potential that we could see Caleb Williams becoming, and what this offense could become as well. Struggled in the running department. No, sorry, my bad. The Vikings struggled in the running department. That's what I was going to say. And so that's going to be an interesting key to this matchup here, because 82 yards against statistically one of the better defenses in the league in the Tennessee Titans, only giving up 278 total yards per game as well. But they were able to come out with the victory in Nashville. So this huge matchup overall, especially as we're getting to late November, a lot of playoff implications on the line for both of these teams. What are some of the key X factors that you believe for both these teams come out victorious in Week 12?
Yeah. One of my big things, I think you look at the 12-7 victory that the Vikings had over the Jaguars 2 weeks ago, and then the 23-13 victory that the Vikings had over Tennessee this past week, is just that Sam Darnold didn't have any turnovers. Let me rephrase that. Sam Darnold didn't have any interceptions. He had 3 in the week before, and that allowed that game to stay close. Whereas I felt like this game against Tennessee was pretty much over pretty early on, and Minnesota was just able to kind of maintain control of the game for most of it.
Yeah,
and the big thing there was they got points on the board early. They didn't make any of those red zone mistakes that Sam Darnold made a couple weeks ago. This offense kind of got back on track. Not what they were the first 6 weeks of the season, but kind of back on track there. And so I think that to me is going to be the X factor here. I also am very curious. A couple weeks ago, the Patriots got 9 sacks on Caleb Williams and the Bears. Can this Bears offense stop this Brian Flores defense and them getting after Caleb Williams? Because especially division opponent, they will be happy to get after Caleb Williams and add 9 more sacks to that total that this offensive line allowed. And I know that they did better this week against the Green Bay Packers, but part of that is you see this sometimes when they make a coaching change. Shane Waldron is out as the offensive coordinator of the Bears. This was the first week that there was the interim offensive coordinator there, whose name I do not remember at the moment. But sometimes you see a big motivational shift in players that first week of a new guy. They get the change in, that mentality's better. What's it going to be like now that they had that mentality shift and they all felt good coming into this game, and then they still lost? And so I'm really curious what that's going to be like. Can this offensive line keep Caleb Williams upright and able to throw the ball in the pocket?
Well, so I think that's kind of one of the things actually is so yes, does Caleb Williams get sacked a bunch? Yes, and so they get up 40 sacks so far in the season. But what I'm curious though about this, and could the offensive line be playing better? Absolutely. I think that's going to be one of the areas that they really target, especially too with their first round pick. I think as well, but potentially. But I think also, though, how many of those sacks, though, also, too, were maybe Caleb Williams induced, where he's hanging on the ball for too long or he's trying to improvise a little bit?
In the Patriots game, I would say 2 or 3.
Say it again?
I said the Patriots game, I would say 2 or 3. Others were like I think there were a couple safety blitzes that got him, some stunts that got the Bears offensive line where they just confused him. Like he wasn't really holding onto the ball that long in a lot of the sacks in
I got
the
you.
game I'm
Okay.
referencing a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's when it comes to sacks, like that's what's very unique because it's like it's still a sack was allowed. So it's like, what's the core issue? And I think it's a mutual problem. I think it's Caleb Williams being a rookie and maybe holding on to the ball for too long. I think there needs to be improvement on the offensive line in general. But to your point, though, overall, though, I think when it comes to this game, Brian Flores and Minnesota, I think it is going to be a lot of ears pinned back, and like let's go after the quarterback, try and throw some very unique looks at this rookie quarterback here. What's going to be interesting, though, then, too, is if he's starting to continue to develop that connection with Rome Odunze, who had a good game today, and then you still have DJ Moore, still have Keenan Allen, a guy that he's leaning on, like, and Cole Kmet as well. Like, he has the weapons around him, which is going to be interesting to see, too, if they come back next year. Like, if he can just keep on building with them and keep building this kind of repertoire. This offense could be something that they could be extremely explosive and dangerous in the league. So with that being said, though, on the flip side, that Minnesota Vikings offense, I agree with you. I felt like maybe they hit a little bit of a lull during this tough game stretch that they've been coming on since their bye, where I feel like the offense had dipped a little bit. Some of it has definitely been from Sam Darnold's mistakes. But today, though, I think it's great to see it's a good, solid, average game, 20 for 32, 246 yards, 2 touchdowns. But to me, what I like to see is the diversity of targets as well. Jefferson had 8 targets. Addison had 8 targets. Josh Oliver had 3 targets. Trent Sherfield had a target. Johnny Munden, Brandon Powell, TJ Hawkinson, Cam Akers. All these guys had multiple targets or had 8 target or multiple targets. So
yeah,
when you're going up against this Bears defense, who is a solid defense in the league, actually, I would say one of the better ones. Let me look at where they're at statistically right now.
Yeah, I will say I do feel like they adopt a bend don't break mentality, but we'll see.
Yeah. But it's still a lot, I think, for this team to cover. And even as we saw today, they had the Packers had a tough time moving the ball against this Bears defense. So they had a couple of explosive plays that set them up late. The Christian Watson diving catch was wild. What an absolute catch! But I think it's going to be tough for this Bears defense also. If the Vikings are starting to kind of get back their rhythm to cover Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, Brandon Powell, who is the other guy? Jalen Naylor as well. So a lot of these guys that are going to be very effective for this team. And then on the running side, I think this is an area where I want to see the Vikings improve just a little bit more. Because I feel like these past couple, the 19th overall in offensive rushing yards. And they had 82 rushing yards today. And so they're pretty consistently, they'll get over 115 rushing yards. They're averaging 116.4. So that's good. That's good. That's 19th overall in the league. So obviously you want to be first overall, but not everybody can beat the Baltimore Ravens. So when it comes to this game and talking about the picks, I think just like most games, I think the team that wins the trenches is going to be the one that comes out victorious. And I think the Vikings are just better in the trenches overall. They have the best receiver in the league. I think the running back rooms are comparable, if not anything, maybe a slight edge to Minnesota because they're a little bit better in that than the offensive line blocking aspect of it. Vikings, you have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and TJ Hawkinson. That's a better receiving combo than DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen, and Cole Kmet. That's actually it's close, but it's not really much of a debate, in my opinion, at least. So I'm going to go with Minnesota here. Chicago can absolutely win this game, but from what I've seen throughout the season, Chicago is normally the ones beating themselves, and there's normally just some mistakes that are in there. They actually didn't have too many mistakes. So I don't think they even had a turnover today. I was almost kind of waiting for it, but I think that they'll have a mistake here, something similar, I think, to your New England Patriots game. So I'm going to go with Minnesota here in a 27-21 victory.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Minnesota as well. I think it's going to be a little bit of a further score gap there. I'm going to say 31-17. I think Minnesota kind of comes out and is able to move the ball a little bit more consistently as well. So let's go ahead. Let's wrap this one up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. It is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, go ahead and leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead. Will it be the Minnesota Vikings? Will it be the Chicago Bears? And other than that, we'll see you guys next time.